This is the Fox 5 News Block.
Plenty going on in courtrooms across the country. Harvey Weinstein accused Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann and the Menendez brothers all appearing in court today. But first, breaking news from Florida, where a mass shooting took place on the campus of Florida State University. Good afternoon, Bianca Peters. Welcome to the News Block. A suspect in that shooting is in custody. There are reports of multiple victims, but as of now, no fatalities. Let's get right down to Antoine Lewis in the newsroom with the very latest on this. Antoine.
Bianca, this is still very much unfolding, and as you pointed out, we know that police do have a suspect in custody. 6 people have been injured. At least 1 is in critical condition. That's the very latest information that we have, but in situations like this, a lot of that can change. But let's show you some of the video and tell you what we know so far. This all started just after noon, an active shooter situation on the campus of Florida State University. Again, 6 people were injured, 1 of those taken to the hospital, at least 1 of those taken to the hospital in critical condition. Authorities again have a suspect in custody, but no other information has been made available on that person. Multiple agencies are on scene, the FBI, state police, as well as local authorities there in Tallahassee. Now, the shooting took place, from what we understand, near the Student Union building on FSU's campus. One student, a freshman, describes what she saw as she was walking onto campus minutes after the shots were fired.
As I was walking back, I see these group of girls crying, really upset, walking back from the student union, told me they heard gunshots, and they just ran and came back to their apartment where I was walking to.
Now, we understand that the president has been briefed. Governor DeSantis has also posted on X saying that his thoughts and prayers are with the families there, or with Florida State's campus. The Justice Department is involved. This coming from the Attorney General Pam Bondi, saying that the Justice Department has also been involved. Resources have been sent to support the local enforcement there. The FBI as well is on scene. Again, this happened just after noon. 6 people were taken to the hospital. At least 1 is in critical condition. Again, in situations like this, as you know, Bianca, things can change, information can change, numbers may go up, numbers may go down. But this is the very latest that we have so far into our newsroom. We're staying on top of this, and we'll have more on the 5 o'clock news coming up when that hour hits us. But this is the very latest we have. We'll send things now back upstairs to you.
All right, Antoine, thank you very much for that. To this now, President Trump doubling down on his desired ouster of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. He posted on social media this morning saying Powell should have cut interest rates a long time ago and that his termination could not come soon enough. Then during a meeting with the Prime Minister of Italy today, the president said Powell would leave if he asked him to. President Trump has made reference to the fact that the Federal Reserve's counterpart in Europe cut interest rates on multiple occasions. Here's what the president had to say a short time ago.
I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast, believe me.
Powell's term as Fed chair is slated to end in May of 2026. Meanwhile, former FDNY firefighter Michael Pena indicted by a grand jury on charges of manslaughter, drunk driving, and driving under the influence of drugs. Prosecutors say in February, Pena slammed his car into another vehicle driven by 23-year-old Justin Diaz in East Elmhurst, Queens. The Queens DA says Pena blew right through a red light and T-boned Diaz's car while going 83 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, killing him.
They finally took this serious, and they saw how bad of a person Michael Pena is. He should have never been out on these streets. With the multiple speeding tickets and the acts with the court, he is a dangerous person who should never have been on these streets.
My son Justin is no longer here with us because of somebody's recklessness, depravity, and knowingly and willingly got behind the wheel under the influence of drugs and alcohol, driving triple the speed limit.
If Michael Pena is convicted of the top count, he faces the possibility of a maximum sentence of up to 15 years in prison. Well, several other developing court cases this afternoon. Jury selection continues in the sexual assault retrial of Harvey Weinstein. So far, 9 jurors have been seated. Lawyers are going through around 80 more potential jurors. Weinstein was found guilty of rape and sexual assault back in 2020. But a New York State appeals court threw out that conviction last year after finding previous Weinstein accusers were allowed to testify in that trial when they should not have been. And developing on Long Island, a DNA expert back on the stand today in the case of alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann. The California lab doctor Richard Green played a key role in identifying the DNA on hairs found on some of the victims. Those hairs allegedly were linked to Heuermann's wife and daughter. Dr. Green testified that he was once asked to help in the infamous Zodiac killer case. And developing right now, the Menendez brothers' resentencing hearing underway in California. A judge is hearing arguments over whether Eric and Lyle Menendez should get reduced sentences. It comes nearly 3 decades after they were sentenced to life in prison for murdering their parents. The brothers' attorney have argued it was out of self-defense after years of sexual abuse from their father. Prosecutors say that they do not believe the abuse claims and that it shows the brothers have still not taken responsibility for those murders. If the judge does decide to shorten their sentences, the brothers would still need approval from the state's parole board just to get out of prison. All right, crews continue to restore power after another blackout in Puerto Rico. That outage left 1.4 million customers in the dark Wednesday afternoon. And as of this morning, 47% of the island had power back, but officials do expect 90% of customers to have that power back within 48 to 72 hours. It is unclear what caused this outage, but the island has dealt with major issues since Hurricane Maria damaged that power grid back in September of 2017 and has not been rebuilt since. This was the second sweeping power outage to hit Puerto Rico in 4 months, with the other taking place on New Year's Eve. And with that, we'll be right back.
It's on Friday. I'll be on the field. You're gonna be there?
Is that the football guy?
Can you give me a minute? Thanks.
So, do you have any plans on Saturday? I was thinking
Hey, is that the guy?
Dad. Yeah, it's the guy.
Oh, I found Mr. Squishy.
Louder.
Here, there, everywhere. Reliable internet where you need it most. Prices start at $30 per month when bundled. Go to spectrum.com to learn more.
Welcome back. Fox 5 is watching your wallet, and with all this economic uncertainty, it turns out being frugal but not cheap is in, according to a new study. Fox 5's Teresa Perillo has the same experts and sharing some tips on how we can tighten our belts and recession-proof our lives.
2025's hot girl summer may in reality look a lot more like cheap chick chic as more and more people make an attempt at frugality and recession-proof their lives.
If you are concerned about recession threats, if you're concerned about tariffs and what that's going to mean for your monthly budget, now is a better time than any to take inventory of your financial life to make sure if in fact you are quote-unquote recession-proof.
Farnoosh Torabi is a financial expert and the host of the So Money podcast. She believes step one for everyone is to review your financial situation. Actually look at your numbers.
Check your savings. Make sure that you are securing your job to the best of your ability. Now is not the time to be scaling back at work or not raising your hand to, volunteer to do some projects. I think you really want to show up and matter at work right now.
And most importantly, make sure you have an emergency fund ready and willing to catch your fall. But one way to beef up that fund might be to cut discretionary spending, like getting your nails and hair done, drinks out with friends, a gym membership, Botox or eyebrow tinting. It's something New Yorkers say they're already doing.
My daughter, she learned to do put on press-on nails and do my lashes, so she do it for me. So I don't have to go out there and spend money and do it anymore.
My lifestyle in general is just kind of not as extravagant.
I will say I'm putting more towards my Roth IRA every month nowadays, or more in the savings than usual.
Chris Markowski is watching the markets. He thinks these smaller indulgences could signal a larger pain point, one that'll need to be addressed if you want to thrive over the next months and year and not just survive.
You got to treat it like the lymphatic system of the human body, where your body's got to clean itself out. And sometimes you take a couple steps backwards to take 3-4 steps forward.
And if there is a silver lining here, the experts tell me by the time we actually feel like we're in a recession, typically the data suggests that's when we're on the way out of it. On the Upper East Side, Teresa Priolo, Fox 5 News.
Well, following a multi-year renovation, the Frick collection opens to the public today, reopens rather. The Frick's historic first floor galleries have been restored and a brand new suite of galleries were created on the second floor. That enhancement significantly expands exhibition and programmatic spaces, including some new special exhibition galleries on the museum's first floor. The renovation marks the most comprehensive upgrade to the institution since its opening in 1935. And a missing toddler safe after spending the night in a dangerous and mountainous part of Arizona. Apparently, the credit goes to a dog. A 2-year-old Bowden Allen showed up on the property of a ranch earlier this week. This came after he had been missing for around 15 hours. The rancher says that he spotted the boy with his dog, who walked with him for approximately a mile until they got to the property.
And that's his track right there.
Now, when I got the little kid calmed down, I asked him, I said, "Did you walk all night?" And he said, "No, I slept under a tree." And I said, "Did my dog find you?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "You just followed my dog?" When he goes, "Yep." And the dog brought him back here.
I told him, I said, "You're the toughest 2-year-old I've ever seen." And my kids were pretty tough.
Happy that has a good ending there. Bowden ended up being found seen miles from his home. He apparently wandered away from his home Monday and was found the very next day. All right, let's bring in meteorologist Nick Gregory for a look at the forecast. Hey, Nick, things looking a little bit nicer than they were the other day. I know we had some intense winds that almost knocked me down the day before yesterday, but I think things are finally starting to seem a little bit nicer as the week goes on. However, let's turn our attention to, I guess, the weekend, Nick. We're talking about some very nice temperatures coming up in a few days, right?
Exactly. We are still going for upper 70s and maybe a couple of low 80s around here as we head into at least the first half of the weekend, Bianca. That's something to look forward to. Today, it's a beautiful day, just a touch breezy. We have temperatures that have been kind of hovering around 60 or just above in the city, upper 50s there at White Plains. So that's pretty seasonal, really, for this time of the year. It's been a bit breezy, like I said, the wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the northwest. The gusts are still 25 to 30 in a few spots as well. And it will die down a bit tonight. The breeze will probably pick up again tomorrow afternoon. We do have that frost and freeze advisory there. That's out for eastern Long Island and southern Connecticut. As you'll see, temperatures will be on the chilly side overnight in a lot of spots outside of the city. Sky's clear just about everywhere we look here. And as we go and take a look at our futurecast again, you're going to see it stays clear for tonight. No big problems coming our way. Looks great as we head on into tomorrow. Sun gives into some clouds, but that warm front moving northward, that's going to be the leading edge of that warmer weather. We'll come with some clouds here and there. And again, this is our forecast into Saturday. Sort of a combination of sun and clouds. Yeah, probably that shower threat is not really going to be too existent. There's a chance maybe very late at night, but for the most part, ahead of that that cold front too, will be right in the warm air, and you'll see that reflected in the forecast. How about 48 for the city tonight? But look at the suburbs. Some areas low to middle 30s, and again, the talk of some frost in a few spots too. Tomorrow, sun, some clouds, a breezy afternoon, kind of a range in temperatures. 66 in the city, upper 50s at the coast, upper 60s inland. There's 81 for Saturday. Clouds and sun, again, a touch breezy. Easter Sunday around 67. Showers will hold off to Monday night into Tuesday morning. Again, kind of a range in temperatures and even some 70s next week.
All right, Nick, thanks so much. Well, that's your news block for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.